I can do this all day with him. Welcome to the Stellar Show, Fayette County TV, Channel 77, Q called Breezelight, myself, Ken Philibom. The Duke, who's enjoying a late lunch.
Fired up.
Yes, sir. Do I still have a face?
Yeah, oh, man.
And don't let me forget.
That's why I'm backing way off.
Stellar's Collectible Shop inside the Uniontown Mall owner, Victor Malik, who I'm going to let him do his thing while I... What's going on in the
Duke
shop?
is extremely hungry right now. We're getting closer and closer with each passing week to the card show that's coming up here in September. Tables are available to be purchased right now through the website at stellarcollect.com. We're going to have some updates to the website. It's going to look a whole lot better this time, and I highly encourage you guys use the website to pay for the table so we can get a schematic for the show and let you know where you're going to be.
What are those dates again?
September 19th and 20th. That's Friday and Saturday. There'll be a pack attack on the 20th at 1 o'clock. They're going to be held down at the shoe department and the old Hallmark and in the middle. We're moving again this time because Bonton has been rented out.
Okay, so what's the time frame on that?
Mall hours, 10 in the morning to 7 at night, both days.
What's the specs on the layout?
Well, they're
You're out of
8-foot
breath.
tables.
I'm just trying to make it drop.
Yeah, it's getting close. It's about 900 degrees in here today. Duke is fired up.
Oh, yeah, they got to keep walking.
They got chicken?
No, they got competition. Hey, calm down. They're gone. They're gone. No, now they're coming back. You guys got to go. Sorry. Yeah. Like, seriously. Come on now. Really?
So here we go.
Yeah, but you know what? Before we go any further, and my manners, Mike Kelly Toyota. Mike Kelly Automotive isn't just about cars, it's about trust. With a wide range of vehicles and personalized service, we make your car buying experience easy and enjoyable. Come see why generations have chosen us for their automotive needs. Once again, thank you, Mike Kelly, for everything.
Something you're not aware of that I feel the need to just jump in and say this right now. A good friend of mine, prayers are being requested right now from me and from everybody here at the Uniontown Mall. Dave O'Brien had an accident yesterday. He's the Uniontown Liquidator store owner, and he's in intensive care right now, and everybody just say a prayer for him. He's a good guy. He's a big part of the mall.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, he's a big fan of this.
Absolutely, yeah.
We're big fans of him. He's a big fan of us.
Yeah, pull through, Dave. We're pulling for you.
Definitely.
And I think they're just taunting him because they know they're getting under his skin.
They understand.
All right. But no, seriously, Dave, we're pulling for you. And once again, thank you, Mike Kelly Toyota. So let's talk about some local fun before we get into all this nonsense.
Where you want to start? Pirates, Penguins, Steelers? Wild cards.
Nothing really going on with the Steelers.
Because today we are broadcasting live from inside the Stellar shop at the Uniontown Mall.
We're broadcasting live.
Yeah. So for posterity, you'll notice that we are broadcasting live today.
Clearly, I mean, hey, you know what? Actually, so as far as the Steelers, I don't know, like what's going on? Are you hearing anything? It sounds like they are talking to T.J. Watt.
Yeah.
From what I'm hearing, so.
I will go back to my contract thing of 3 years guaranteed at $35 million with a team option for the 1 or 2 years afterwards.
You know what? I'm sorry. I hope everyone's paying attention. This man is taking, he's missing mandatory camp because he doesn't got his contract. Mm-hmm. He got his contract a few years ago. Honor it. You know what? I'm sorry. I'm like, you know what? Yeah, I hate when these owners do that. But you know what? That's a two-way street. Honor your contract. Yeah, because we're supposed to act like this is all. Oh yeah, he got his contract, good for him. You know what? Here's another thing too. Stop doing your stupid dance after every tackle, and maybe you could. He's probably hurt himself more dancing than he has actually playing. Just my opinion.
Kind of right on point with you. The one that's concerning right now is why hasn't Boswell been extended?
That's the one that should be extended. I mean, we agreed on this last year. That should have been your team MVP.
Yeah.
I don't remember who got it because that's how relevant last season was.
And if you go back through what Boswell has done for the Steelers, if you take Boswell and put a run-of-the-mill kicker there, this Mike Tomlin record for 18 years does not exist anymore.
You're right.
Boswell has kept that 500 and above. He's probably the biggest part of that.
I think what everyone overlooks too is, look, Acrisure Stadium has the the whatever you want to call it, their word's slipping me, of being the most difficult place to kick.
And I believe Boswell it is. And I believe Boswell's making what, 5 point something, and Harrison Buckner makes 6.2. To make him the highest paid kicker only cost you $1 million a year. Just for the decency of it, give him the extension.
This guy's still in his prime.
Yeah, that's my point.
Yeah, I'm with you. They got to lock him down.
Boswell is the first priority to me over TJ.
I agree with you, but
because the Steelers, not to cut you off, the Steelers have an embarrassment of riches at the edge position right now.
They really do. Actually, one of them's on the poster here for you.
No, Highsmith, you've got a ton of replacements there. You're not replacing Boswell.
No, you're not. That is for sure. And we found that out over the years. They went through some duds. I'm
gonna shift gears on this, but continue on the embarrassment thing. Does anyone out there really know what Mitch Keller's record is right now?
ERA is good, but the rest is not.
He's 1-10.
I know.
With a 4.2 ERA. He is 1-10 right now. That's unbelievable.
Well, and Skeens too. But you know what?
Everyone complains that they don't give run support for Paul Skeens when he starts, which right now he should be pitching.
Yeah, Falter's getting it though.
Falter's 6-4.
Makes you wonder what's going on in that locker room.
It's fair
to ask these questions because some of these, look, I remember a pitcher that got paid, did very well for himself after he left Pittsburgh. There were rumors about 10 years ago that, boy, those bats would come alive as soon as he got yanked.
Mm-hmm.
And
you're talking Garrett Cole, I believe. Possibly?
Hypothetically.
Okay.
Yeah, you know what?
It wasn't the fact that Garrett Cole gave up a home run in the first inning 60% of his starts.
No, but you know what? You would see
because he did.
It'd be 3-1 or 4-1. Cole would get yanked, and then all of a sudden those bats came alive. And there have been times that this has happened with Keller and Skeens. I don't know. I'm one of those.
But you have a consistent bad batting average going through the lineup.
I'm not arguing that.
That's a problem there too.
But people are starting to talk. Maybe is there some dissension or something going on in that locker room? I've heard of worse things happening for more petty reasons than what may or may not be out there. I mean, there's stories of certain people not getting a ball thrown to them for a month because they asked a question in a team meeting that made a certain Hall of Fame quarterback embarrassed. So I remember being in a game watching Le'Veon Bell wide open on the sidelines going like this. And just saying, you know what, it's fair to ask these questions, and that stuff has happened. These guys are they got their guarantees, but a lot of these is incentive-based. And, you know
that's a big part of the Aaron Rodgers contract, if you read the fine print on that. He gets $500,000 if they make the playoffs, $1 million if they win a game, if they win the conference, go to the Super Bowl, it's or 1.5 or something.
Let's be honest, I think all these contracts should be incentive-based like his. Honestly, I like the way his contract's structured.
The way sports are going right now, this is just which is something we're going to get into with the NIL hopefully before the end of this show, where the money is just becoming too much. And you and I had a conversation earlier this week about how basketball and things like that are just falling apart. The money is too great, and these leagues don't know how to produce young talent.
No, they don't. But you know.
They're holding on. The NBA's holding on to LeBron James and Curry.
Yeah, after LeBron and Curry and Durant, name 5 NBA players.
Most people can. Luka.
Yeah, exactly.
That's about where Giannis. It kind of ends right there.
Yeah. So
that's like you were saying. I'll say it for you.
You're good. The
Undertaker and Rock and Hogan just became so extended with the lifespan.
Yes, and then after that, you got nothing.
Yeah, and that's why nobody knows Shai Gregorius Alexander. You couldn't pick him out.
No.
Most basketball fans barely know who he is. And then to have Halliburton get pushed up, I watched a little bit of the finals to see that. Yeah. Duke eating the Nuggets was more impressive than the finals.
You were attempting to, right, bud?
So
you know what? I think we. You know what? Why don't we have some fun ripping something open before we jump into the nil?
I've always wanted to know what was in here. This is something I have never opened. More power to you.
All right. Yeah, you know what? I'm intrigued by this as well, sir.
So what happened back in the day, everybody was making these small box sets, which is a wonderful idea
Yes,
for
sir.
shows, for content at some
Oh,
point.
yeah.
I'll open up 10 or 15 of those
the
little
cans and stuff.
Revcos and all of
Oh,
those
yeah,
little mini
Kmart's,
sets.
Ames, yeah.
The cards are absolutely beautiful. Value is very suspect on them. This was Toys R Us's version of a box set.
And I like what they did. Was this Stadium Club?
Yes, I believe so. There were two, oh, you get the big cards in there too.
Yes, sir.
Go ahead, the master
You go with
photos.
those, and I'll attempt to do this.
Problem with these, just like anything that isn't the typical size of a baseball card, when you have something like this, there's no protection for it, and people don't tend to collect these because of their size.
A lot going on.
Yeah, I have no idea what's in there.
Let's see, 93. Outside of a base Ken Griffey Jr., I can't tell you anything that would be worth grabbing.
Jeter.
now. I don't know if he'd be in here yet because he was in the minor
Jeter's
leagues.
one of the most difficult players to determine his rookie year.
So one thing
it
is
bounces everywhere.
nice about this is they're not stickings. Hey, there's Pat Mahomes, Sr.
The dad. Was that fight ever something?
No, I wish. Tim Wakefield, every time rest in peace, number one, but number two, you should have had him in this ninth inning, him or Bob Walker or Belinda.
Yeah, I agree.
Instead you blew it.
Belinda was out of gas.
Mo Vaughn, that would have had some value back in the day. Eric Karras.
Here, let me show the crowd some of these while you
Absolutely.
go
While
through
I
'em.
go through Carlos Garcia.
These are not the typical Stadium Club cards of that year.
No, sir.
They're a different style altogether. Giving you a look. See,
Bernard
what's there, about
Gilkey.
30?
There's
There's
100.
100 cards in there?
Yes, sir.
So this is the outlier of them.
I'm trying to. There was one of these years that might have been like, I don't know, maybe Chipper Jones or someone that might be worth something. And I'm just throwing out a random there.
Yeah, here's the Ken Griffey master photo.
Oh, did you get Griffey? Oh, nice. That
Nothing
actually
on the
probably
back
has
except some
value.
information on the
And
photo
actually,
itself.
Because these are over 30 years old, and they were packed right.
Pudge Rodriguez, another Hall of Famer.
Moises Alou should have been. I know Zane Smith.
There's Moises Alou right here.
There you go. I would rather had him over Zane Smith. I don't know. Looking back on that, they got took on that deal, right?
What's the Alou for Zane Smith?
Yeah.
They needed the lefty.
Okay.
Randy Tomlin was just not ready for prime time at that point.
So
As a starter.
So they don't make that playoff push.
Zane Smith was a tremendous pitcher.
He was, but
was
boy,
good.
Moises Alou's borderline Hall of Fame.
They needed the bat too.
Yeah,
You
But
kind of
think-
lost either way.
But think about Moises Alou being plugged in
That's
the outfield.
Brian. This is
Oh yeah.
Is
There
that
you go.
Brian
Yes,
Taylor?
sir.
the #1 pick by the Yankees. This card would have been the biggest deal out of this set by miles.
At the time, yeah.
And you can watch it go into the free bin.
Oh, Mike Piazza. That was a good one at
Mm-hmm.
the time.
That's close to a rookie.
It might be a rookie actually. Yeah, rookie star Mike Piazza.
And
What
one
is-
of the statistics of him that's crazy, he was drafted in like the 62nd
pick,
round.
Last round because he was
Yeah.
as a favorite of Tommy Lasorda.
Yeah, Mike Piazza made the Hall of Fame, drafted in the 60. Imagine being a participant in the Major League draft at that time, waiting around 62 rounds.
And well, they used to sign guys undrafted too. I remember
Is that
someone.
Sheffield?
No, Gerald Williams. Javi Lopez. He
Lopez,
was hot
yeah.
for a second. H. Rudd. Dion, primetime, future coach of the Browns.
Looks that way.
All right, sir. I think you want to jump into NIL or
NIL will come up next.
yeah. Go
Here's
ahead.
the deal, folks. I've been doing a little bit of reading and some research on this. We have a board over here that doesn't want to move properly.
While Victor's figuring that out, I want to do this real quick.
Yeah, by all means.
Chuck Rimmel has Collecticon Saturday, June 28th from 10 a.m. to 4. That's down at Westview Banquet Hall, 398 Perry Highway, Pittsburgh, PA 15229. I just want to thank Chuck. Chuck's a big supporter of the show. He helped us talk to Zach Frazier a few months back.
Oh, that's cool.
And he was going to have something special for us, but it fell through, and we'll
Oh,
save
that was that one?
Yeah, it was tied to
Yeah,
him.
what
So
a
that's
shame.
why I want to give him a big thank you. We'll save that one for a rainy day because if that situation could still come through at some point. Thanks, Chuck.
Good job, Chuck. Okay, so what I have here is a schematic of overall what has happened with the NIL since 2020. NIL is name, image, and license. This is what a player can sell his autograph, his image, or license out himself to make money off of.
So he can make money that the fat cats and the colleges can't keep.
Right. In the old days, you would have a handshake with $500 in it. You would miraculously come home with a brand new Corvette.
Or you know what, you got if you played basketball, you got a center court seat that you sold to a booster for 20 grand.
Yeah, that was the way it was.
Cash.
So then House versus the NCAA was actually, Grant House was an Arizona State swimmer in 2020 who sued over the NIL. It took all the way to 2024. This is where all the confusion has happened. In the 4 years of them trying to figure this mess out.
He's the Kurt Flood of NIL.
Yeah. Everybody gives Ed O'Bannon and his brother the credit for this, where it was actually the Grant House, the swimmer. And how much money could a swimmer actually make off of NIL, depending upon?
But hey, he should have been allowed to make whatever he wants.
Good point on that. So the injunction was issued. This is where everything has gone completely crazy, where if you can make money on anything, you can. So Congress and the NCAA got together. This is what has happened this summer. The judges approved this right here. So you have what's been created is called the College Sports Commission. A former Major League Baseball executive is now in charge of this CSC.
Now, who put this CSC together?
This guy right here,
But
Brian Seeley.
Was it by the government, the NCAA?
It's a combination of 3 antitrust lawsuits coming together, and this is what they came out of it. Here's the fun part of this. This CSC is for compliance, oversight, and enforcement. Look at what the NCAA did up there. They've given up all financial regulatory.
Here's what
see
why
this is fun?
Oh wait, you know what? Right now, I think the athletes should put a commission together that oversees these people and judges how much money they're allowed to make.
That's not a bad idea.
Hey, you know what? If you don't want these,
well, this is the argument.
It's education based. So why does a president of a school need a $10 million contract? Sorry.
They gave it up.
Oh, I'm sure they did.
They gave all of that up
somewhere
to give it to these guys to oversee. Do you see the switcheroo?
Yeah.
And they canceled all of the laws where you weren't allowed to accept a suit, courtesies, from your agent to go to the Heisman Trophy dance, the dinner. So this is where this mess has become. And the NCAA's only responsibility for collegiate athletics right now is eligibility of a player, their academics, and rules violations.
Now, as far as rules,
talk about punting.
Yeah, right.
This is what they've done. They punted this
But they did it to themselves. They should have took Spurrier's deal a few years back, and everyone would have been happy. But they couldn't give these kids $300. Now they're getting $3 million.
Well, they get more than that, because revenue from the ticket, merchandise, and TV will be used for each school is allowed 22% up to $20.5 million to pay your players.
They should get it closer to 50.
Well, each year they're going to revisit it and add 4%.
Okay.
That's where this is headed. So what they're guessing right now is football is going to get 75% of the 20 million.
If not more.
Men's basketball gets 15,
Fair.
Women's gets 5.
Why?
All the other sports are getting 5%.
Why is women's basketball getting 5%? There's no way they're drawing that much of a
This is for scholarships.
Okay,
now,
well, that's different. Scholarships
for the scholarship
okay,
part.
I thought you were
I'm
talking
going to jump
payout.
down here.
Yeah.
This has done something that's even crazier. This creates where scholarships now used to be a hardline 85.
Yeah.
They're now 115 for football.
And you know what? I'm sorry. I would rather be.
Now, this is you're allowed to chop them up and give partials to keep players in your program.
Well, and so which means you could have 200 kids on your.
As long as your roster limit isn't met.
Yeah. So where I'm at with this, like, if I just hypothetically, would you rather be the number 9 receiver at Alabama or the number 1 receiver at Kent State?
Alabama because of
because
of
the
this
money. But if you think you got a shot at the NFL, you're going to get more looks as that number 1 in a MAC school as opposed to being someone that's taken up
for how much longer?
Who knows? But then again, what I would do if I was, what I guess is, let's be honest, like you, and I just threw Kent State. I just pulled that out of left field.
Yeah.
Let's say I went to Kent State. Let's say I could have been the number 9 receiver at Alabama or the number 1 at Kent State. I go put up the numbers. Now I'm jumping back into that transfer portal. And hey, I'm cashing in on NIL.
Well, what I see happening is players like the number 9 getting recruited on the sidelines during a game. hey,
Oh,
we can
absolutely.
give you X amount more, come play with us.
Yeah.
And the way college football is set up is there's 2 portal dates. So you really can't structure your team until you pass the April portal day.
No, I cut
And
you
Penn,
off.
and Penn State has done a wonderful job
Absolutely.
of manipulating the portal right now. So in essence, this led to I know you can't see this down on the bottom,
it is.
but $2.5 billion in this house settlement is set aside for athletes who they feel they were taken advantage of all the way back to 2016. They have to pay.
Go back to 1916.
There's actually a website. It's collegeathletecompensation.com. It's an Edgar Snyder type
there you
website where you can go to the website and say, I didn't make enough money off of my name, image, and license back as far as 2016 and get a check for this. Crazy world we're going into right now. Yeah, this is now the NIL Go. This is another part of this. This is another portal that they've created. So Ken Philibon, prospect from Mount Pleasant High School, is signing with Penn State. Anything over $600 has to go through this portal where they view
Why?
what Victor Molick from Laurel Highlands is getting from UCLA as a quarterback.
I think you say their business.
But this is how all of this goes.
Yeah, I just
And this is just for this money. The NIL itself is another entity where the players can go to a car dealership, anywhere they
Absolutely.
want,
Good
and
for
make
them.
more money on top of this.
and they should be allowed to. Like that one guy that put out there, he'll pay whatever quarterback goes to a 5-star quarterback to go to Michigan $3 million.
Well, Marvin Harrison was offered, I believe, $12 million to stay at Ohio State last year.
Wow.
Instead of joining the draft. He would have made 12 where he made 1.5 with the Cardinals, which comes to a point
You got
that
to get your NFL money started though.
understood
yeah.
because the pension is the
Oh,
key
yeah,
with the
yeah, part of
NFL.
it, yeah.
But this is something I would propose after reading all of this and understanding this a little better than most. Why, when you go to college, is there not a major for football or
Basketball,
sports?
whatever.
Whatever sport you go to, the college should have a program in place in the same way you have a doctor thing.
Let's be honest.
Why wouldn't you have football?
I would assume it's fair to say that every SEC and Big Ten program has, or school, whatever, university, has produced more millionaires from athletics than they have all the other fields that they have
Yeah.
combined.
So why couldn't you bring in old players and old coaches to be professors at the university when Drew Aller signs with Penn State? He's not learning reading, writing, and arithmetic. He's
Learning
learning
football.
life lessons and how to manage money and how to do interviews, how to do everything that he would need to be a professional athlete.
I agree. You know,
Agent things they would learn through classes how their agents work as opposed to just blind trust in them, and you wouldn't have maybe the catastrophe that some of their lives become after having money with no preparation.
and as, especially with these younger guys making that kind of money right out the gate. Maybe I actually had this conversation with someone earlier at work today. Hypothetically, like that one wrestler that's fighting with Iowa right now because they didn't give him his $4 million or whatever.
Yeah.
At 18, you know, he gets that $4 million. Let him learn while the school and the boosters paid him $4 million how to manage that money. Give him a degree
That would be a
in that.
class that an athlete might actually want to attend,
Oh, absolutely.
as opposed to the
Oh, you
nonsense
can put
of
this into a trust and live out the interest? Yeah, sign me up.
yeah. That's 100% where. So I just wanted to update you on what's coming in college football, which this I think is going to be your football going forward.
I'm just going to give you my 2 cents overall. At the end of the day, you have a bunch of suits that are fighting a bunch of kids to take money from them.
Yeah.
Just my opinion.
And college football is going to change dramatically
Yeah.
over this. And good for it. If you are worth that money, you deserve that money.
I agree. Look, no one should no,
But these colleges really should look into a major of sports.
like a professor of a university should not be fighting a student on his campus or hers like their earning power. Trying to limit like what someone or NCAA, someone within their entity, they should not be trying to limit how much money they make. The more they make, the better it is for everybody.
I 100% agree.
So why like what? Because a few people that probably don't attend games anyway have the opinion, oh, well, they get a scholarship. Well, yeah, you know what? If they get $3 million, they don't need that scholarship. And guess what? That can happen with that scholarship. Now it can go to someone that can use it.
And the scholarship thing in general, when you have a major university, how much is it really costing the major university to give a scholarship? No one's losing money in that transaction. It's a write-off. It's a chair, and a professor has another test to grade.
Yeah.
To be honest with you, that's the way I've looked at it my whole life. I'll never understand that there's this said value of it. The university could basically run half of the kids on scholarship and probably not lose that much.
Like I said, I don't know. I'm one of these. I have a different mindset. When I hear some kid just got a $400,000 vehicle and he's making $2 million and he's not even a sophomore in college, I think good for him.
But you would like to put in a speed bump or a brake that he could understand what he's losing.
But that's where you're at with what you said. They should be, if he has a, if
not that the school's responsible for it,
no,
but they're giving them the option to learn.
But if he could learn that while he's getting that, both of our arguments come here.
Yeah.
I don't know. I think we just solved this for them. Hopefully these lawmakers were watching. Anything else going on? I know we got to wrap this up soon, right?
Oh, we're almost out.
All right. Anything besides? Go ahead, sir. What do you got?
I'm just letting everybody know Skeens is pitching today. He'll probably pitch again. What day did I have it down?
Oh, well, you know what? Hey, if he
Skeens is pitching Monday against St. Louis in Pittsburgh. High possibility.
I got that evening free, and I have tickets.
And it's 30 days to the opening of training camp in Latrobe.
And I loaded up on tickets, which you can get on the Steelers site. You have to have tickets from the Steelers to get in. So get on wherever and get those tickets.
This is something that bothers me.
They're
You
free.
can explain this better than most. What is this tailgate party thing that the Steelers are selling for $134 a ticket?
I don't tailgate, man. You see how I am when I go to
I'm
games.
just saying there is something available on StubHub right now, the Steeler
We're
tailgate.
public figures. We can't be seen doing that stuff.
Okay. Moving on. 66 days till Nevada, Penn State, and 74 days till the Steelers and the Jets. So it's hot outside. Give you something to look forward to.
Yeah, stay cool like Duke, and we will pitch
Dave,
it to,
get better, buddy.
Yes, sir.